Okay, so in a hypothetical way, these are the different cases we might see out here. I've got my virulent strain, my very aggressive virulent strain, EP155, and I've got a milder strain, SG2-3. And a very resistant tree is going to have two small cankers because the fungus doesn't grow very well in the bark. A very susceptible tree is going to have two very large cankers. The trick is, in the backcross orchard, the best we can hope for in our backcross trees is an intermediate level of blight resistance. And so what we're looking for is something in this range. This is the best we can hope for, where there's going to be a large difference in the relative canker sizes. Now we can't use the absolute canker size. We can't just measure them in centimeters, because the irony is on a fast-growing large tree, the fungus grows faster. Whereas on a slower growing tree, the fungus grows slower. So what we're looking for is this difference. And so the intermediately resistant trees should have a very small canker with the mild strain, but a relatively large canker with the aggressive strain. So by comparing the sizes of the two inoculum points, we should be able to identify the intermediately resistant trees. So again, I've got my Chinese control should look like this. My American susceptible control should look like this. And our intermediate hybrids, the best of them are going to be in this category here. Some of them, of course, will be worse. Probably none of them will be better because they've inherited susceptibility from their American parent. One of the problems in this job is being able to see the canker margin. This tree has a little bit of a rough bark, and I don't know why it has rough bark. It may be a genetic defect. It may just be something in the environment that made it have rough bark. But the rough bark obscures the canker margin, so I'm cutting with my Opinel brand pocket knife into the bark here to expose the edge of the canker. On a smoother bark tree, it'll be readily visible, but here it's a little bit hard to see. So you can see here the edge of the necrosis. Here where I've cut the bark off, you can see there's green tissue there. Then here's the necrotic lesion. And if you look right here, this cream-colored tissue is actually the mycelial fan. That's the mycelium of the fungus growing in the bark. It's eating the bark tissue. It'll kill the vascular tissue. So when it girdles the tree, if that gets all the way around, of course, the tree is girdled. It'll be dead from this point up. So that's a pretty large canker there. And that's a medium-sized canker. I'm going to call this one a 4. So this tree has actually been killed by blight. The top is completely dead. The only living tissue it has are these root sprouts. The inoculum point was here, and at this point blight has spread all the way around the bark, is killing the tree, and you can see the orange pustules. Those are the fruiting bodies of that's the stroma. The fruiting bodies of the Crayphonectria are in that orange stroma. You can see abundant stroma on here. Can you see the orange tissue? These orange pustules, that's called stroma. And the perithecia, which produce the spores, are in that orange stroma. So that's a 5. I'm guessing this is an F1 hybrid. You've got the map, you're going to tell me, but the characters that I see are, it's very vigorous, it's very blight resistant. You can see from here it has very small cankers on the order of magnitude of the Chinese control cankers. But mostly look at the leaves. If you look at the leaf and the twig, it just looks intermediate between Chinese and American, especially the leaf trichomes. You can see the fuzziness on the back of the leaf.